Welcome to another episode of the Risk Takers Podcast presented by HYM Enterprises. My name is Harold Matos and I'm your host. This is a show where we feature esteemed business leaders of Southwest Florida as they provide us insights into their business and personal journey. Please like, share, and subscribe for a weekly dose of your motivation and inspiration. All right, fitness fanatics. Today we're joined by true fitness experts, Brittany Kaczmarek and Clarissa Alicea, who's transformed countless lives through their gym, the InfluencHer Fitness Center. They'll be sharing their story and their tips for building a strong and healthy lifestyle. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. So they want to do, I don't think we got any fitness episodes in Risk Takers, so y'all will be the first ones, who will be advocating for fitness.
Yes.
But, before we get into it, how y'all feeling mentally, spiritually?
Amazing for all of the above.
Yeah.
Super good. I'm excited to talk about fitness today and get more people to know about us.
Yeah, man, for sure. Oof. So, all right, we'll start with you, Brittany K. Mm-hmm. All right, mother, daughter, granddaughter, and sister. Can you take us back and tell us what your family dynamic was like?
Yes, of course. So I'm an only child. I come from Philly. I've lived there for a short amount of time. My mom raised me, but however, she was a drug addict, alcoholic. So long story short, when I was younger, she would leave me often to go use drugs. And then, people would come to the house to try to use or look for her or whatever. So in the third grade, I made the decision to go live with my grandparents in Philly. And they raised me, ever since. They pretty much showed me, what a parent should be, taught me, you pretty much go to school, go to college, get a 9-to-5, and then retire. So they pretty much set the standard of what to be. And then as a parent, because of the history with my mom and also not knowing who my dad is, that set the standard for me as a parent with my kids. So playing both roles and just making sure I'm top notch for them, for my kids.
Yeah. How's your mom doing today?
I couldn't tell you. No idea. So the last time I saw her, I was pregnant with my son. I was 6 months pregnant. And a hospital called me in Fort Lauderdale, told me she was on life support. She had overdosed. Went to go see her. They took her off life support, so they pretty much took the breathing tube out of her, and she was throwing F-bombs, and I was like, all right, she's good. Haven't heard from her since.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Sorry to hear that. What about you, Clarissa? Raised here in Southwest Florida?
Yes, I'm from Florida. I was very blessed to have both my parents still together to this life. So I grew up in a household of, I have two other siblings, a sister and a brother who are older than me. So I'm the youngest. And I've had both my parents, my whole life till today. Grew up with good morals. I am the way I am today because of them. My dad taught me how to work hard. My mom taught me how to care for others and love.
You got baby? Since
I
you
do.
were the baby of the...
Yeah,
you still get baby?
I'm still the baby. My mom helps me with my food to this day. And I have a son as well.
Oh, awesome. So 2 mothers.
Yes.
All right. How long have you guys been working as fitness coaches? And then was it always that you guys something envisioned? We'll start with you, Brittany.
I never envisioned I would be running a gym. Like I said, back to my grandparents, they pretty much taught me you're going to go to college, you're going to graduate, and the goal is to retire, right? So the way I got into fitness was I had my daughter, and every woman knows you can't shed that weight. So I got a personal trainer who was a male, and it was at a big commercial gym, very, very intimidating. Conversations were had that shouldn't have been. The way we were working out just wasn't for a female body. So luckily, our schedules did not, work together, and I ended up getting a female trainer who was also a bodybuilder. So she changed my life. She helped me find my passion for it. And our schedules didn't match either just because she was getting a different job. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to work out by myself. I would look up YouTube videos, what have you. Started working out by myself. And then my friends were just like, yo, can I work out with you? And I'd be like, yeah, no problem. And then their friends would be like, yo, you a trainer? And I'm like, am I a trainer? Could I do personal training? Let me see. So I got certified for it, and then I was jumping from gym to gym to gym. All of this going on while I am a respiratory therapist in a hospital. So I ended up going to school, graduating, but my main thing was I'm doing respiratory therapy for the rest of my life. So that passion grew, and then I ended up doing free boot camps for the community, trying to get the name out. And then lo and behold, I was like, there's no women's gyms around here at all. Because when you go into a gym as a female, it's intimidating, not just the machines, but the people are intimidating. What we wear, of course, can cause, wandering eyes and stuff like that. And then, working out lower body, that's what we love the most. And it puts women in a vulnerable spot. So I'm like, damn, I wish there was like a women's gym around here or somewhere we could go just to not have that issue. And I was like, ding. So that's how it started. And then we've just grown ever since.
Yeah.
But that was not ever my initial goal, to be a fitness coach at all.
Yeah. That coach that you had, that was back in Philly?
No, that was here. That was actually at the old, back in the day. I don't know how long you've been here, but it was Omni back in my day. Yeah.
Not Crunch or around
Not
the clock.
Crunch or on the
Fitness,
clock. It was Omni, the old Omni back in the day.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Clarissa? Did you started into the fitness once was Brittany your coach? Or,
No.
were you already in fitness?
Definitely in my mind. Before, I used to work with a dentist for many years. When I got into fitness, I just wanted to, change my body, honestly, like how you see on social media, you see these girls like with great bodies and hips, and that was, my initial mindset, and that was, 8-9 years ago. That's what got me into it, and it was a hobby that if you were to ask me what hobbies I like to do, that was a big hobby at that time for me in my life. And in dentistry, I was a 9-to-5 job that I liked, but there was not passionate about that. So actually, during COVID 2020, when we all got our stimulus checks, I spent mine on a fitness course to become a personal trainer. And that's pretty much where it all started. Similar to Brittany, I was working at, different commercial gyms under the table. And then, we finally, met, or, I hit her up on Facebook. I remember during 2020, but a lot of, places were still closed at the time. So she hit me back up beginning of 2021 or just before. And so I started right at her gym at the Metro location, 2021, and we've taken off since there. Now I'm here full time.
Full time. Awesome. All right. So what inspired the name InfluencHer?
There is a backstory to this name. If y'all don't have your business trademarks, you better do it ASAP. So before InfluencHer, we were called Fit Beauties. A lot of people know us as Fit Beauties 239. We started as Fit Beauties 239, and that name I thought about in the shower, honestly. I was like, how can I put women fitness, boom. So that's how that name came about. I went to go trademark that name, and come to find out there was another person who had not the exact, but similar, and we were going head to head. That person got it, had to do a rebranding. So that's why trademarking is so important. So InfluencHer, this is what we do every single day. Women come in here, we don't just influence them on a physical level, it's a lot of mental as well, therapy, So I was like, okay, we influence women all day. It's a women's gym, so that's how we got InfluencHer.
What would, somebody that just started a business and, got a domain name, what would they go for trademarking? Who could they go to?
Oh, they could go to Newbury Consultants. That is my trademark person. His name is Seth. He's great.
Gotcha. But so what if somebody doesn't go to him? Where else could they go?
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you because I don't know. Like, you could do the application yourself, but I mean, it's very structured. You know what I mean? It's a ton of questions. You have to know. Like, you have a gym. I have a gym, but I also sell clothing. That's 2 trademarks right there. So it's not just one. You got to do it for whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I know you can go to an attorney too and everything.
Yeah, you can go to attorney, all of that. But luckily, this was someone that was a mutual friend, and so that's how we got that name.
Like Clarissa, how many members are part of the InfluenCHer fitness program?
In total, how many we got? 100 girls in total now.
About 100 girls?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Gotcha. And then 3 classes, right?
Yes.
Per day? So I know this is a question you guys probably get asked a lot, but why an all women's gym only? And do you guys ever receive any pushback for not catering to the other gender?
I've never received any pushback. The most that I've gotten is a prank call.
Saying what?
Saying like, how come you don't let men there, and they hang up. Yeah. That's it. So I'm just like, if you really want to waste my time with a prank call, that's fine. But I've never gotten any pushback for it.
I think the women love it, honestly. We've talked about before, it's a really safe place for them. And you know what, I think the gyms in general, it's a male dominant area anyways. So it's nice to have something where it can be also just tailored to women as well. And women can work out comfortably.
Yeah, because going back to, like I said, we love to work lower body, right? You guys love the big booties, nice legs. So we like that too. But the movements as we do as a woman, you're vulnerable. So I remember when I used to go to a commercial gym, the abduction machine, the machine where you're opening, closing your legs, a male must have made the placement of the piece of equipment because they put it in front of all the bikes. Here was the abductor machine, boom, 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 in front of all the bikes. And at 9 a.m., all the old men were lined across. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this no more. Put this somewhere else, So that was another thing, too, for sure.
All right. Switching gears a little bit. So you saw that we had a woman run as a presidential candidate, but she didn't get elected. Do you feel like women are finally getting the respect they deserve in business, or they still get looked down upon?
No, women are taking over.
Yeah.
We can multitask. We are the best multitaskers ever. We can do 20,000 things at once.
Yeah. You agree with that, Clarissa?
I agree. We're in a different time now that, women are more dominant in the workforce, in business. We're becoming entrepreneurs, and we're making it happen on our own.
Yeah. So back then, it used to be like, what, stay at home and cook and feed the children and the whole nine.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stay-at-home moms we have in here, that's why they love this so much, because they're like, it's my hour to just get away, because it can be, overwhelming as a stay-at-home mom. You think, they're not doing anything. Now you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. So they get that hour and a half to come in here and just take that time for themselves.
Yep. How do you guys balance being mothers and operating these businesses?
There's no balance for me.
Yeah.
You want to answer that?
I think for me, I'm more blessed to be able to balance it a lot better versus a 9-to-5 job where, I have to be there at a certain time, or I have to request days off. Being an entrepreneur, working for myself, I'm in full control of my schedule. If I need to take a day off for my son, if I need to leave at a certain time to get him from the bus stop, I'm able to do that because I'm in full control of my schedule. So I much prefer the balance of, running a business rather than, relying on an employer.
No, 100%. So no balance for you, huh?
I try my best to balance, but
She
again,
has 10 times more the responsibilities than I do.
And the people who are watching, like if you run your business, you are everything. So you're the marketer, you're the boss, you're the plumber, you do everything. And then it doesn't stop when you go home. When you go home, you still doing numbers for the day, and then you're still trying to be a mom. But as she said, to agree with, you can make your own schedule. So working, in the hospital for 12 hours, there's holidays I miss, there's a lot of stuff that I would miss. So that was definitely a push for me to quit and be like, you know what, now I can have time with my kids, and I do. She's absolutely right.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into the fitness subject. This is what many viewers probably been ready to tap into. What is your view on the use of supplements?
You want to go first or me?
Supplements are great. A lot of nutrients nowadays, like in the foods, it's so much foods are processed nowadays or getting injected with God knows what. So a lot of the foods don't hold as much nutrients as they used to, or as they do in other countries where they comes more fresh. So supplements, they supplement that. Anything that you're lacking, you take a supplement for it just to be healthier. So I'm all for supplements that your body needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What country are you from?
I'm half Peruvian, half Puerto Rican. So if you go to Peru, you go to even Puerto Rico too, even though it's part of the U.S., you're in an island, and they're catching fresh fish. They have farms out there. Like everything is a lot more fresh than here. Everything is fast paced. So a lot less nutrients are in the foods, and you lack, even down to the fruits, down to the soil, because they're moving fast to get it to the grocery stores. So supplements, the A, B, C, D, EFK, you know, all of those are important to take.
Yeah, they just feel whatever. I mean, and you can be the healthiest person ever. You're always going to have some sort of nutritional gap. So her and I, as bodybuilders, we eat clean all the time, but we still have those gaps that we have to fill, and we take supplements for that.
Now, what are some effective strategies for building muscle and losing fat?
Oh, for building muscle, I fully agree on progressive overload. So continuously increasing the weight, tracking what you lifted that day, so on and so forth. For losing fat, it will be a caloric deficit, so eating less calories than you normally would and hitting cardio. All those fads that you see on TikTok and Facebook, that watermelon cleanses that I see on Facebook, none of that works. You got to do this forever. Everything's about longevity now. So you have to just eat clean, cardio for your heart. Yes, it burns fat, but that's the recipe right there.
What are some common mistakes people make with their nutrition, and how can they avoid them?
Paying attention to TikTok and Facebook and not seeing a professional who has educated themselves on it.
Yeah.
What breaks my heart is the first thing people cut is carbs.
Oh, yeah. That's true too. Yeah, carbs are great.
Don't cut your carbs,
don't cut your carbs.
So don't cut no.
Yeah, you can have rice. You can have
rice.
You just need to know when to eat it.
Yeah, rice
carbs
and
are your
bread.
number one source of energy.
Yeah.
You just have to see when. So for us, we eat carbs all the time because we're hitting legs 3 times a week, and that's our push.
The carbs.
The carbs.
Got it. I heard
Measure. Be cautious about your carbs, but yes, this is why you should seek a professional so they can give you a meal plan and know what supplements to use. But never go on Facebook and ask, "How do I lose 10 pounds in a week?" It ain't gonna work.
All right, so you guys have seen enough kind of folks come in here and have had amazing results. What's the biggest impact that a client has made on you guys?
Oh, there's been so many transformations. It makes me proud to see, like, when they send me pictures of like bikinis, like they're at the beach. We just came back from a bodybuilding show. Brittany's client Ava had one of the most amazing transformations. So just seeing that throughout the years and then coming down to like the day of her show and seeing her up on stage, it was like, it fills your heart. That's what we do every single day. And that's, what we want to give back to the world.
How long were you guys working with Ava for before getting her? How long were you guys prepping Ava for before her show?
So Ava came to us initially just for a lifestyle change. And then, like I said, I'm a bodybuilder. Clarissa's about to be a bodybuilder. And, she would come to shows and stuff like that. Yes. And she grew that passion for it. So it just, it makes us, this is what we do. This is why we do it, to fill that hole that people may have. So she never imagined she'd be a bodybuilder, but she got inspired by us and boom. So we prepped her for 4 months.
Gotcha.
For her show.
You got to be like a certain amount of weight to be a bodybuilder?
Women do not. No, the men do, but women do not. So there's a bunch of different divisions in bodybuilding. There's bikini, there's wellness, there's figure, there's a whole bunch. But no, they don't weigh us. They pretty much go off of how much muscle mass you have for each division.
So I would have to lose weight if I want to. No, I would have to bulk up and then.
Yes, you're going to have to bulk up.
I'm almost there.
Yes.
So, 1,000 push-ups more.
Right. And don't forget to hit legs.
Oh, no, never. All right. So outside of the gym, what do you guys like to do as hobbies? I mean, you guys got children, so...
We like to go to bodybuilding shows.
Literally.
So keeping the main thing the main thing.
This girl right here, we either go to bodybuilding shows or we'll travel
to go to a different gym. We don't even know how many times we've been to Miami just to go to a gym and drive back home.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever been to Miami to party.
Nah, we haven't. No. But as a gym owner, I like to see how other businesses run their gyms. Like, not a commercial gym, not like a Crunch, nothing like that. I like to go and see, like, the small box gyms and see how they're running it. Because it lets me know, like, okay, am I lacking in certain areas? Do I need to pick up in certain areas? My marketing, all that. So that's another reason why I like to go to different gyms. But, yes, also to work out. And then, again, back to my kids. Like, that's all I know. Yeah, kids and gym, that's pretty much it.
All right. So you say you guys go to Miami to see the bodybuilding shows. Could we see a bodybuilding show for InfluencHer one of this weekends?
A lot of women had asked for us to do a bodybuilding show here. I mean, we could absolutely do that. Yes. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
We could do it. Like
Yes.
When is it coming? 2025, 2026?
2026, yes. It takes time. You just don't jump on stage and do a show. It takes a lot of time. It's discipline. It's mental. I mean, you got to learn to tell your family and friends, like, nah, I just can't have one small bite of that cake. Like, yeah, you can't. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of structure.
Gotcha. You guys got to, obviously it won't be here. It have to be a venue.
It could, it would be a venue, but it depends on that too. Because now, remember, if you do that, you're taking them outside of their comfort zone too. So we'd have to ask the girls what they think, but we could do it here.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do it here.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let me know. I'll be one of the judges. Oh.
Every
I'm
man's
sure,
dream.
I'm sure you will.
All right. So, where can the viewers find you guys online and learn more about the services?
You can follow us at InfluencHer Fit on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube as well.
What about y'all personal pages?
Mine is Britt the owner.
Mine is Body by Rissa.
Before we wrap up, what's one key piece of advice that y'all could give an aspiring risk taker? Start with your Brittany.
Okay, I could rant, but most importantly, you have to understand that you're going to fail. And you can't let failure defeat you. You got to get up and just keep on pushing. Be able to take criticism as well.
Okay, what about you, Clarissa?
I think if whatever you're doing is going to positively impact, your life or this world and others, it's worth the risk. You have to go for it. If you don't, I think you're missing out.
All right, well, that's another episode of the Risk Takers podcast. Thank you to influencer fitness experts for giving us their time. Thank you.